Hello and welcome to Impact Network, brought to you by India is Us. I'm Pooja Grover Bhatnagar. Today we have with us Ms. Rashi Anand. Rashi is a passionate social entrepreneur who's been working over 10 years in this field. She has delivered through her projects Lakshyam, Holy Cow Lakshyam, Travel for Change, and recently Tuk Tuk Gilhari. She strongly believes in the financial sustainability of her work. Let's get into a conversation with her today to understand her philosophy and her work better. Welcome to the show, Rashi.
Thank you so much.
Rashi, you're such an inspiring person. You came to Delhi for your graduate education and you got into the field of education yourself, providing education to young children and women through Lakshyam. This was at an age when young adults are thinking in terms of what career paths they want to choose, and you chose social entrepreneurship. So how did you get to make such a bold choice in your life so early on?
So I was basically born and brought up in Ranchi, and I was the younger one in my family. So I never was very clear to what I actually want to do in my life. So होता ना कि घर में एक छोटा बच्चा होता है तो उसको इतना पैम्पर किया जाता था, तो हमेशा से था कि अच्छा ये तो छोटा बच्चा है. And I was always that one pampered child in the house, and I did my graduation in arts. Till 12th I was into commerce. I scored really bad in 12th. I could not get into admission in the commerce background, so I ended up in the arts graduation. And again, I never knew what I want to do in my life. So I ended up in a private college where I did my master's in events and advertising. So I think the clarity and the focus was always missing. And when I finally started working, I realized that I'm not happy. So I was never satisfied going to office, coming back. And one fine day, I just took a choice that I don't want to work because it's very monotonous and that's not giving me happiness. And I came down to family and said, कि मेरे से ये नहीं हो सकता है. So they asked me कि क्या करना है. So I was not again sure. I said कि कुछ नहीं करना. I just want to take a break to find out things what I actually like in my life. And I started volunteering with a couple of NGOs. But I always wanted to understand the psyche behind कि road पे लोग कैसे रहते हैं, road पे खाना खाते हैं, सोते हैं, सब कुछ होता है. So I started volunteering with a couple of NGOs, and then slowly Lakshyam came into place.
But I'd say it's so brave to even come to that decision that I want to take a break, and then you had your family also supporting you. So that I think is very unique in itself. And it's great that you chose your break time for doing social service. And today Lakshyam, which was founded I think in 2012, has come to be such an inspirational NGO. So of all the causes, why did you just pick education as the key cause for Lakshyam?
Basically हर बच्चे के हाथ में खिलौना होना चाहिए, जो कि नहीं था. तो हमने पहले साल जो शुरुआत करी थी उसमें हमने काफ़ी प्राइवेट स्कूल के साथ टाई अप करा. And we were able to procure more than 10,000 toys and books from one school. And over a period of time, we had 70,000 odd toys and books. So we started distributing toys to different kids in different traffic signals. But we just could not understand कि इतनी books का क्या करें. And those books were all English medium.
Okay.
So we thought of creating a library. And the first project was Lakshyam Toy Library in one of the slum areas. And जब हमने बस्ती में काम करना शुरू करा, so then we realized कि जो भी potential है वो बच्चों में ही है. अगर हमें कुछ भी बदलाव लाना, ये change आ भी सकता है. If we can create a change in the children, I think we can create a change in the longer run.
Along with Toy Library, you also have projects like ROO. And all of these are kind of to support your key project today, which is providing education to these children. So how does this entire ecosystem work?
So basically, the vision of Lakshyam today, if I say, is to create a space where all living beings coexist and co-create in harmony. And if I say all living beings, so that includes humans, environment and animals. So that was my long-term vision, and slowly and steadily we have been working towards this vision. Lakshyam today has different projects. So one is Lakshyam Butterfly, which is all about education, wherein we ensure the holistic development of the children. So education being the primary part, we also talk about the holistic development, which includes extracurricular, their health and hygiene. Second is Lakshyam Toy Library, wherein we collect a lot of toys and books, because being in Delhi, in the capital, we have access to a lot of resources. And then we open libraries across India. So today Lakshyam has almost 17 libraries, and most of the libraries are in the very remote areas. तो वहाँ पर जगह होती है, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स होते हैं, बट रिसोर्सेज कभी भी नहीं होते हैं. वाइस वर्सा, जैसे यहाँ पे दिल्ली में हमेशा हमारा स्ट्रगल होता है कि जगह ही नहीं है हमारे पास.
Right.
तो हमने वहाँ पर टॉय लाइब्रेरी खोला हुआ है. एंड द थर्ड प्रोग्राम इज ROO, which is all about women empowerment. And this came into picture because we realized that parents play a very important role. कि आज अगर बच्चा भीख मांग रहा है या कूड़ा चुन रहा है, because the mothers are doing the same thing or their family are forcing them to do that. So to ensure that the child is being counseled, we have to start a women empowerment program. And over the period of time, we realized that we need to be sustainable enough. And talking about social entrepreneurship, it is very much in time of the need कि आपका हर project sustainable होना चाहिए, social entrepreneurship होनी चाहिए.
Right.
So we have launched 2 projects, which is called Holy Cow Laksham, जिसमें कि हम लोग cow urine से and cow dung से products बनाते हैं. जो cow dung and cow urine होता है उसमें जो यूज किया जाता है, those are all the rescued cows because we leave the cows जैसी वो दूध देना बंद करती है.
Right.
So for us, cows has always been just a milking machine, and then we leave them on the roads to sustain on the trash. And we have a tie-up in गौशाला. वहाँ पे लोकल गांव की औरतें ही उसका सामान बनाती. So we are able to reach to our next step, which is about animal welfare, and women empowerment is always there. The products made out of cow dung and cow urine has no chemicals. So the packaging से लेके end product तक जो है, everything is very environment friendly. So again we reach our next target of environment also. And the other is Tuk Tuk Gilheri, which is India's first 100% sustainable farm, and where we are sitting right now. So इसमें भी हमने animal welfare को और environment को include करा हुआ है, including our main TG, which is the humans also. So that is how we have been expanding slowly.
So in fact, that is so true. Talking about self-sustainability of projects, and you've kind of created a whole nice inter-harmony and interlinkage amongst all of your endeavors. And in terms of even talking about sustainability, it is essentially financial self-fulfillment, right? And funding has always been a challenge. And coming back to Lakshyam's efforts in this regard, you have done a lot of unique projects for fundraising. So I think Fashion for a Cause is one of your landmark events. How did it come up to be, and where is it today? Tell us a bit.
So basically, when I started Lakshyam, so I had no source of funding. I remember I went to my father and he gave me 2 lakh rupees that time, and he was like कि जो करना है करो, बट अगर सोशल वर्क करना है तो एवरी टाइम यू कैन नॉट कम बैक टू मी सेइंग कि अच्छा अब 2 लाख खत्म हो गए और पैसे चाहिए. सो यू नीड टू कैरी ऑन योर थिंग ऑन योर ओन.
राइट, सो योर डैड इज नॉट गोना बी फंडिंग यू फॉरएवर.
बिकॉज़ आइडिया ऐसा भी नहीं हो सकता कि मैं सोशल वर्क करना है, तुमको काम भी नहीं करना है, एंड देन दिस इज व्हाट यू आर गोना डू थ्रू आउट योर लाइफ. So the only thing which I learned in my masters was how to do events, and I just utilized that skill set of mine to create events. So initial 1 year there was no funding. I was just capitalizing the capital that we had, and then to ensure more people should join hands to bring a change, more people should know Lakshyam, so that down the line I can convert them into donors and sponsors. I started doing this show which is called Fashion for a Cause. So fashion and Bollywood I think are the 2 segments which is very eye catchy. तो सबका इंटरेस्ट होता ही है फैशन में, और बॉलीवुड से कोई हो तो there's no to it's like. So first show we got Salman Khan, and we got that eye with Being Human. So I remember Salman Khan.
How did you manage that? That is
that maybe we can skip, but
enviable, yeah. Great.
So, but we got him on the first year. I think 2012 December we got him. He was in Delhi for his movie promotion, and we tied up, and our kids walked the ramp with Salman Khan in Being Human t-shirt. So that first step was stabilized, and then second year I pitched to more than 5 designers. They were all good designers of India, and today Lakshyam Fashion for a Cause we have done almost 12 years, and it's been one of the major fundraising for us. And we have designers starting from Ritu Kumar, Rohit Bal, Anju Modi, and they all have been part of our shows over the years. And Bollywood celebrities, of course, Salman Khan, Boman Irani, Priyanka Chopra, Anupam Kher. So we have brought in, and whenever a Bollywood star comes into the picture along with such designers, so the result was always remarkable.
That's a very, very impressive list.
Thank you so much.
And which I think also is a fact that's been critical in you being able to service your cause to the extent that you've been, and actually, getting to build in the triad of coexistence of nature, animals, and humanity together.
Yes, of course.
So, but today where you are has been a long journey, and especially in the initial years, when I go back and look at your interviews earlier, you have been very vocal and upfront about some of your initial failures and challenges. And I feel that is very unique, because not a lot of people are comfortable talking about failures as such. So what is the mindset there, and what makes you speak up about these issues?
So I think everyone, all of us have gone through one failure or the other in life. We all have never been कि हमेशा ही सब कुछ अच्छा रहता है या हमेशा ही successful रहते हैं.
True.
When there's an up, there's a down. So everything has two dimensions to it, and I think every failure that I've gone through, I take that as a learning step, because whatever today I am or we are as an organization, as an individual, it's just because of that journey that I've come all way. And अगर वो सारी challenges नहीं हुए होते, अगर वो सारे failures नहीं हुए होते, so I don't think so कि मेरे में उतनी हिम्मत भी होती कि मैं वो steps ले पाती. So that is how I think everyone should be very vocal about talking about the challenges and failures, because that's part and parcel of life. So जैसे अच्छा है वैसे ही बुरा है.
So
That
true.
is how.
So true. In fact, talking of learnings along the way, I think successes as well as failures are big teaching moments. What are some of the key learnings that you think of when you look back on your journey?
So I think I realized after 5-6 years of my journey that education is very important, to be very honest, because I just shared my background from commerce to arts to just doing something which was very easy for me. But when I actually started working, I realized कि ना मेरे पास education थी, ना मैंने कभी कोई experience gain करा, which I still miss a lot. But education point of view, I started coping up because I started applying for scholarships, for online classes, for fellowships, because when there were people around me from the development space, they would talk about terms like impact assessment, evaluation, success stories, and to be honest, I never knew कि उसको बनाते भी कैसे.
Right.
So that is how I realized कि अगर काम करना है और आगे बढ़ना है, I need to upgrade myself, upgrade my knowledge as well. And then I started applying for these courses, and today I know all the technical terms, the documentation management, all the things that should be required from that point of view. So of course, yes, experience in education बहुत जरूरी है.
Okay.
आज अगर मैंने कहीं पे जॉब करी होती या कुछ भी होता, so my journey जो आज हमने 15 साल में या 12 साल में करी है, वो मे बी हम लोग 8 साल पहले तक पहुंच जाते हैं. Just that it took a lot of time for me to adapt to the whole new thing, and the new whole ecosystem is what I feel.
But I also feel that, having a vision and a drive is critical. So, a lot of us have education, have money and resources. And in fact, even the empathy, where we feel a tug in our heart when we see an animal in need or something like that. But you actually followed through on, those emotional cues. So, which I think is something of a different kind of a challenge to that needs a bit of a courage. So where did you find that drive?
So I think that was all about happiness. जब तक इंसान खुद खुश नहीं होता, उसको मजा नहीं आता. So to be very honest, it's a very common term in our family कि अंदर से एक घंटी बजनी चाहिए.
Okay.
So even that was in our family when we talk about wedding. So it was something that was missing in my life. Irrelevant, having a very good family, सब कुछ was very smooth in my life. But वो एक मजा नहीं आ रहा था. So I found my purpose when I started volunteering with different NGOs. I could always relate to the kids who were there on the traffic signals, but मुझे था कि उनके लिए कुछ करना है. थोड़ा सा भी कुछ करती थी तो जो पूरे दिन में एक हैप्पीनेस था या एक स्टेट ऑफ माइंड होता था, it was never there for me. So I just believed my passion कि अच्छा यही है, and this is what. So we always talk about कि a lot of times I've been also questioned कि how come you're giving so much back to the society. So I think for me, for every single person who's giving back to society, it's more about even we are getting something out of it. आज अगर आपका बर्थडे आपने किसी के लिए कुछ करा, so you also feel good about it. So ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ आप दे रहे हो, आपको भी कुछ तो मिलता है, चाहे वो खुशी मिलती है, अगले को सामान मिलता है, हमें खुशी मिलती है.
Right.
So it was, I think, both the hands joining together.
Yeah, so true, so true. Like they say, जिन हाथों से फूल बांटो तो महक तो हाथ में बांटने वाले के भी रहती है.
Correct, बिल्कुल.
So true. So you've had a lot of different projects and experiences throughout your journey. What is some of the most interesting or amazing experiences that come to your mind when you look back?
So there are a lot of stories which I still have in my mind every day. It's part of my life today. But there's one story which actually got a breakthrough me also, because when we started working in Ghaziabad, that was all a rack picker community. And when we opened our center, we used to have almost 80 kids coming every day. And there was a child called Deepak. He was a rack picker, and वो सुबह 5 बजे कूड़ा चुनने जाता था. And we used to open our center around 8 o'clock in the morning. So that was his time of coming back. And I would always see him. So like couple of days I was just observing him कि बाकी सारे बच्चे आते, वो क्यों नहीं आ रहा है. And I used to start talking to him कि आ जाओ बच्चे, यहाँ पे आना चाहिए. He would just not respond and just walk by. One fine day he thought, okay, I can be friends with her, and he came inside and he was like, हाँ जी बताओ. एंड आई वाज लाइक कि दीपक आपके हाथ पैर हमेशा कटे होते हैं, खून निकल रहा होता है, आप कूड़ा क्यों चुनते हो? So it's a very common thing which we have not observed. Most of the rag pickers, they would not have slippers. In India, they don't have gloves, and they would always go and pick up trash. So most of the kids have bleeding hands and all the wounds and the cuts over their body also. And I asked him कि दीपक आप ये काम क्यों करते हो? आप पढ़ने आए करो, बाकी सारे बच्चे तो पढ़ने आते हैं. And his one fine response was कि आप कूड़ा ऐसे क्यों फेंकते हो? And it just gave me a halt because practically I was into the NGO sector since last 6 years, that point of a time. And still in my household, I was living that time in Ghaziabad only. So in my household, I was not segregating waste. So waste made wet and dry. जितना मर्जी हम लोग सुनते हैं, चाहे वो songs चल रहे होते, चाहे वो posters लगे हुए होते, क्या हम लोग अपने घर में कूड़ा वो डालते हैं? हम ही लोग नहीं करते.
मतलब hazardous waste as well.
I was also not doing that. And आज अगर same area में वो रहता है, उसी area में मैं रहती हूँ, कहीं ना कहीं आज उसका वो condition में मेरा भी role था ही. And this is what he just gave me one blunt answer कि आप ऐसे कूड़ा क्यों फेंकते हो? आप लोग या आप ऐसे क्यों कूड़ा फेंकते हो? So I just realized that it's very small thing that we all need to take care of in our life. It's not that कि हम सबको बहुत बड़ा कुछ करना है. अगर छोटा छोटा भी कुछ करते रहे, so that brings lot of change in our life and someone else and around the whole community, I think.
So true. And as a community, I think it's a big responsibility. And it's a bit of a journey, I think, needs a lot of education and sensitization, like you said. And moving on, you've achieved a lot of awards and accolades over the years. So if you look back again down the memory lane, what is the one award that comes to your mind that makes you like really happy and blessed for the work that you're doing?
So every award is a very happy moment for all of us, I think. But there are two special ones for me because the one was, of course, the first one in 2012 and 13 starting, where I was awarded as the Young Achiever Award by another foundation in Noida only. But that was like first moment for me कि अच्छा award भी मिल सकता है. The other was World Youth Forum, wherein from all over the world around 8 people were selected as the change makers who were awarded in World Youth Forum, which is one of the biggest platform for youth. And all the change makers are there. So from all over the world, 10,000 people come, and I was awarded there from President of Egypt. So I think that was one wow moment for me because I could represent my country all over the world, and out of all the countries, 8 countries were selected, and I was one of them.
Indeed, and that I think is a proud moment for all of us. So big congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
And I think these moments stay with you and motivate you throughout.
And I think because when I got that award also, so they first sent a message on LinkedIn and then over the email they contacted. So I was not very sure because everything was very international style, and that time I delivered my baby. She was almost 4 or 5 months old and I was breastfeeding her. So I was not sure whether I'll be able to go or not. So I just sent them a mail saying that, hey, maybe I'll not be able to join because I have a daughter and she's just 4 or 5 months old, and either I bring her along or we can skip this. So they wrote a very sweet mail saying, no, we would be happy to bring your family also here. And then they booked tickets for me along with my husband, along with my daughter. So we were also a little skeptical ki ho kya raha hai. So, and when we went there, because it was just the 8 of us who were selected, so the kind of treatment, the kind of things that they're doing, so I was very happy I could just give that experience to my family also, which I'm very rarely able to give that.
It's very special, of course. And I think your family is as much a part of your journey.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think when you get such an award and you get a lot of visibility, and with that comes a lot of prospects and proposals coming to your organization. So how do you sift through this load of requests for partnerships or alliances?
So I think partnerships and collaborations are very important, and I strongly believe in them, and we have many partners on board because अकेले हम लोग बहुत थोड़ा सा कर सकते हैं, but जितने लोग ज़्यादा करें, so we are able to impact more. But we have the focus area now very clear. So we say this is our focus area. So for example, if you are working for the holistic development of the child, our focus have been majorly education. But then we have a NGO partner who works around good touch and bad touch. So when they come with their session, we know कि उसका एक part जरूरी है हमारे बच्चों के लिए. So they'll talk about it. Second, when the health and hygiene is important because अगर बच्चे के पेट में कीड़े हैं या उनके दांत खराब है, तो वो वैसे भी पढ़ नहीं सकते. So we give that part to another NGO which works around health. But they need to submit the whole report to us, starting from कि पहले क्या status था, during the intervention क्या हुआ. So what we have today is the access to the communities. We have our own centers and we have the manpower in place. So now we are open towards collaborations and partnerships.
Okay. And I think this venue here, Tuk Tuk Gallery, is also a collaboration.
Yes.
So how did this come to be?
So this is a joint venture between Lakshyam NGO and Gili Mitti. Gili Mitti is all about sustainable living and sustainable farming. So basically ये जितने भी हम लोग structures देख रहे हैं, so it's made out of मिट्टी and गोबर and bamboo. So कोई भी ऐसा यहाँ पर product use हुआ ही नहीं है जो कि environment को damage करता है. So Gili Mitti se Shagun Singh is the founder. She is a very close friend also. So we both had this love for animals over the years, and we all have been talking about कि कभी तो life में animals के लिए कुछ करना है. But we never had this bandwidth to do that. But one fine day over a cup of coffee, we realized कि अब बहुत होगी बातें. Let's do it. And we wanted to ensure that the venture is sustainable. We don't have to do fundraising events or we don't have to ask for donations.
Right.
And today this is more of a learning center. And इस learning center में बच्चे आते. We have, and this is Cutie.
Hi.
She was the first rescue.
Yeah.
And इसमें बच्चे आते from pathways, traumatas, बाल भारती स्कूल से बच्चे आते. And we talk about कि कैसे animals की तरफ compassion, kindness होना चाहिए. They get an opportunity to meet the animals and feed the animals. So we have Chand, the horse, Tara the donkey, Kaju, Kishmish, Bubbly. So we have all these chirpy names for all the animals. And I think the kids have a blast when they're here. And we have also done almost 15 plus birthday parties. So now kids want their birthday parties here in the farm rather than going to a play area.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice way to build sensitivity around,
Yes.
animal and wildlife in young children.
So hopefully next time जब आप आओगे so we'll have a lot more animals. So we would be getting an owl, vulture and camel also.
Okay. So, I think we've come at the conclusion of our conversation, which has been very interesting and filled with amazing anecdotes. Is there any parting message that you would like to leave with?
So I think just we spoke about earlier about the story of Deepak, and what I just want to say is कि हर इंसान को कुछ थोड़ा सा करना चाहिए, and the first step starts from our own house. So we all need to ensure that we do that first initiative and start bringing that small change, and rest will happen, I think.
So true, so true. And with that, I would like to thank Rashi for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And a big thank you to our venue partners, TikTok Gallery, and our gifting partners, Harmony Overseas. Thank you.